Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing great today. Hope everyone enjoyed my last video on SH Figure Arts Fike. My gosh, this glare is coming out way too much. I might take this plastic off in a bit, but after I get through the intro. But I hope everyone enjoyed my last video on Vike. Yeah, I've noticed when I was doing some of the editing after the video lasted for about 22 minutes. I know that's rather long for a toy review, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on this channel with when it comes to reviews. I've noticed whenever I see some reviews, there's not a lot of in depth. It's hard to explain, but when you watch a video, they go by quickly because they're trying to pump out the review as quick as possible. But I enjoy those videos that are really into the fine detail of a figure in particular. But yeah, hopefully this video is short and I'm not making this intro too long. So nevertheless, let's get straight to it. So today I got Warhammer 40,000's JoyToy Dark Angels. This particular character is the Intercessor Sergeant Nadael. Nadael? Doesn't have an I in there, so I think it's Nadael. I recently got into Warhammer, maybe less than 6 months. I was told it's a lot to get into, but I love the lore and there's a lot about it that I just love. Space Marines, just space soldiers killing aliens, although it's a lot more gruesome in the story of Warhammer. But in this particular legion of Space Marines I picked, the Dark Angels, I just love the night aspect to it, the night theme. Bunch of carrying swords and weirdly futuristic plasma guns. I just find this so cool. But yeah, this particular action figure is JoyToy, made by the manufacturer JoyToy, and I believe they're located in China. I'm not too sure. I believe so. But this is my second figure that I bought from them. Amazing. I was recommended by a friend of mine called Opti Knight on Instagram. He has a Blood Angel, one I believe the version 1.0 Blood Angel. It changed the way I looked at figures. Yeah, this is a 1/18 scale, so it's quite small if you are someone who collects Hasbro or I believe 1/12 figures. But when I tell you that even though this figure is small, it's crazy how detailed it is. So to start off, I got this on Big Bag Toy Store for I believe $36.98, $36.99, no more than $50. These are quite expensive, but I'll show you why they're expensive. And I should take this wrap off, so let me go do that first. As I was opening this up, I realized that this is not my second figure. I have, I believe it's this figure, a regular, I always forget the names, they always have interesting names. But is this figure two more regular Space Marines just like this character and a Blade Guard. I also have the Lion coming in. He hasn't shipped out yet, but I have him on my pile of loot. So once he ships out, I'm gonna ship all my stuff. So when y'all are ready or ask for it, I can review it and get a, I would say, amateur's perspective of it. But this is the box, and really nice box design actually. Some of the newer designs of these boxes for JoyToy, I believe, don't come with the black or the white border. So when you do buy, or when you do see this, or do see some of the newer boxes, they're going to be different. That's just, I believe they updated both the box and the figure itself. This figure I believe is running 2.0 body. I'm not too sure. There's little nuances here and there, but the 1.0 and the 2.0 are very different. And I'll show you a little bit more in depth as well. It's the back of the box, sides, normal licensed stuff, I guess. And side of the box, top, Warhammer in the bottom. We'll crack this open and we'll show the insides. Alright, hopefully nothing falls out of this case. Let's get this thing out. Wow, and they even have their own. I forgot what these called. Environmental. I'm not gonna worry about that. But no. I'm gonna put this down here. So you got your pretty much a lot of basic stuff, which is weird, but all this basic stuff is really neat given how much detail is put into these. So you got your power sword, your jetpack, I believe it's bolter shotgun. You have your bolter pistol, your holstered bolter pistol as well. And I'm still a little bit new to the Warhammer lore. I'm not too sure if these two are supposed to be the same one. You can obviously see that it's different sizes, but I'm still learning about Warhammer, and there's a lot to learn about Warhammer. You got some different pairs of hands. You got two fist hands. You have one open gripping hand. You have a left hand for the gun, for holding the gun, and you have one left spread out hand, which is, I really like that they add this. This is supposed to be, I think it expresses a little bit more behind those dead eyes, more expression, which I really like. I have them on, and it's supposed to as well represent holding your rifle as well. Then lastly, got a head. Now, when I first got into JoyToy, these heads, I was amazed on how much detail there are. And then this head in particular is really nice. So yeah, hopefully the light can pick it up. I believe these are laser printed eyes or paint. And it's just, hopefully I can get it pretty close. Look at that. Crazy. And these are, smaller than 1/12 scale, so it's honestly amazing how they are able to do this on a small figure. I've started getting to 1/18 figures, but I'm willing to pay the extra bit of cash for, weathering and such stuff like that, more accessories. But this is the head, and it's really nice. You can see some little bit of gunmetal paint on the mechanical eye, but yeah, you can see the not indents but cheekbone recess, I want to say. But crazy good. Now let me get this figure out. So this is my third opened figure, and it's always like as if I'm barely opening this up again or for the first time. It's honestly amazing. They go with, it's interesting when it comes to the joints, especially with the hands. They're not the usual joints where they're kind of two ball joints and do this. They're actually dumbbell joints, and I believe that allows a little bit more range when it comes to the figure itself. And I love that they do that. It feels good, and when you twist it, obviously this is new, so it would take a little bit of wear, but just it's amazing. And I believe it's both the hands and the head also have. No, it's just the hands, which is good though. I don't mind that. So let's put all the accessories on there so we can all review it in one time or one go, and we'll just go from there. After realizing I only put his jetpack on, and all the other accessories are just for the hands and the holstered bolter pistol. So I'm gonna just leave this unholstered one just for now. But let's begin talking about the weathering for this figure. Now, it's very, not want to say minimal. You can, when you're looking from afar, you can't really see. It's just all one color. But the closer you look is what I enjoy about this figure. You can kind of see a little bit of highlighting on the I would say shin guards to knee pads. I'm not too sure what this particular piece is called here. It's all one giant piece, and in all the small crevices as well, you can see a little bit of weathering here, especially on the recesses of where the armor is, not armor, but I'm really blinking on this stuff. I need to look in more in depth into the Warhammer armor, but yeah, you see like this little bit of weathering there, especially with the stomach, the belt here, there, and here as well. You can obviously see it here where the bone is supposed, or not bone, but the bone colored skull and wings are supposed to be at. Definitely good there. You see his name right here, Nadael, Nadael. You see the symbol for the Dark Angels. I want to say I believe it's called iconography, or something that's something similar to that. See some bright and red, blue and red buns there on the arms. On the other side, it's one thing I'm still learning too. They have so many symbols that I believe this is a assault division. Someone in the comments correct me. I don't want to walk around and then telling the wrong information to anyone who wants to join the Warhammer army. So turning it out back, see these also come off, which is really nice. So whenever you want to just display, a very clean figure, or display them without nothing, you can obviously take these off, and these are actually on little ball joints there, so that's really nice. Let's pop that back in, and then the jetpack. I think the jetpack that I really like looking at, especially with some of the Chaos Legions, they're all different designs. It's just how great, like, some of this paint looks like it's been through some stuff, to put it simply. You can obviously see some weathering here, some up here. This gunmetal really looks nice. I like how it's just a brushed effect. And one thing that I not always say, but have been always saying, trying to get people into this is pretty much, if you don't want to get into the minis, because they can cost upwards to hundreds to thousands, I believe, this is a good alternative. I think that you can, if you're into action figures, but you don't want to do all the painting, if you for sure don't want to do the painting, you can definitely get something like this. And this is cost efficient, so yeah, you're not gonna spend what, $500 on just one miniature, I've heard. Yeah, this is a great figure for not getting into the miniature side, or the miniature minis of the Warhammer tabletop game. But a little close up on the face. It's real nice. This red here just pops. I one of the things that I like about some of the legions is they have complementary colors, and I honestly think this shade of red really pops with this shade of green. And I'm not too sure what this particular color is called. I know Warhammer has different names for these types of paint, but yeah, this is just great. Now the joints. I actually didn't even start that off first, but we're all learning. So this figure has double jointed elbows, as you can see. Obviously has a head movement there. Really good range on the torso here. Not a lot on the waist or the ab crunch, but insane torso. This does have a variation of the butterfly joint. Here's one thing that when I was watching reviews for some of these JoyToy figures, they never really talked about the butterfly joint, which is, when I first got mine, I thought it broke mine. I was scared, like, man, I just bought this. And it's after buying my first Space Marine, which is a McFarlane. That's gonna have to be another video. But yeah, I really enjoy this butterfly joint. I wish I had a spare where I can just disassemble and pretty much dissect the figure. But this is my one only Nadael, so I don't want to do this to him. So yeah, he has a lot of range actually when he does that. Just yeah, I'm doing something, kind of crunch his arms over. And these pauldrons here are, and I'll show you in a bit too, they're actually very different compared to the newer stuff. Especially with I have Blade Guard veterans, and they're actually on ball joints, so it allows a lot of movement, believe laterally, but not a lot of movement when it comes to the what term? I don't even know the term for that. But there's not a lot of movement when you try to pose it forward, or when you try to pose the arms forward. It just gets blocked, and it. Although you can get away with moving or forcing it, it's kind of a bummer because these figures are really nice, and you want to pose it in such dynamic poses. But that out, if you want me to, I have reviewed it on my Instagram page, which is the same handle as this YouTube channel. If you do want to go look at it, I do have it up on my page. So I go a little bit more in depth, but if you want me to make a video about it, I would sure love to. And this figure has double jointed knees, which is always fun. On both sides, obviously. Has some swivel here. Toe crunch. Real nice. And not a lot of movement when it comes to the forward and... Oh, actually, you know what? It does. Very, very minimal. Very minimal. And obviously has some thigh rotation, which is always great to see. It goes that far because it's right here. This piece is blocking it. Goes this far. I mean, if you want him kicking some Chaos or Chaos Marines or some Necrons, you can obviously have him do that. Have his some ballerina moves. So yeah, that's pretty much all for the joints. These do move. These thrusters, I believe they're called thrusters. These do move. Although, depending on what paint is applied on here, it will be stuck. So you'll just have to pop it out and then should ride loose. Yeah, let's get him with some guns and swords. Alright, here we go. Here's with his bolter pistol and his power sword. Ready to launch. Real nice, actually. The sword itself does have some, I want to say some detail on there. You can see the gunmetal, and you can see the light highlight and the more darker gray. And I really like how for the power nodes they added this blue not highlight, but this blue effect where it goes around the power node as well, as if it's being turned on. It's a really nice feature. Not as sharp, actually. It's pretty sharp, so don't pick your eyes out. And looking closer to this gun as well, this gun does have a little bit of weathering, especially on the recesses of the gun itself. And one thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that, oh gosh, take this out. All right, the magazine comes out, the clip for the bolter pistol comes out, and this is actually pretty cool. I mean, realistically, I'm never gonna have this shown, but it's a really nice feature that is included with the pistol. And I wish JoyToy actually kind of releases an accessory pack, or not accessories, but effects pack. So it'd be so awesome. It'd be so awesome to get some firing shots, as if they're just firing, just so that you can have a playing field or like a war going on. If people are into some dioramas, I do intend on making a diorama of these, but I'm just waiting on JoyToy to make some death guards, so I can have Mortar, I believe his name is Mortarian, fighting up against Lion, and some of these intercessors fighting some sick boys. So that's awesome. I really like how this gold actually on the helmet. It's it's a really nice color. It's all these colors, even though they look not too much, it just feels like it belongs there with the green. I think the green is what helps it stand out, and it just looks so menacing. Now this is him, and with his helmet, he looks like what's his name? Sarah RoboCop. Oh my gosh, I almost blanked out on his name. Looks like RoboCop there. Real nice. I didn't realize that. So, yeah. Let me get a shotgun out, and I'll change his head just so that you kind of see how he looks. And this figure does have a ratchet shoulder. When I first bought my figure, I thought I broke it. I got so scared. I thought I had to get a new one, but that's just how it is. Some figures, though, like I've said previously on my Vike video, not all figures are going to be made perfect. Obviously you do get what you pay for, but from first hand you are getting something really nice. It's just you have to get used to it. Like I said, they're not going to be perfect. It takes a little bit of wear to wear them down, and over time, the more I play with the other figures, which I'll actually display in a moment, it just takes time to break them in. Now, this is a little bit of a disclaimer. These hands, which I really like about these figures, these are really soft plastic. They're not to the point where it'll break, but it's a soft, durable plastic to where if I bring the other hand out, they're differently sized. You can see that this one's a little bit more open compared to this one, which this one has never been put on. This one I just took off. You just have to wiggle the... Sorry about that. My headset just went out. So yeah, like I was saying, you just gotta wiggle these things in, and it'll just be fine. Good as new. So yeah, let me get this hand on, and then go from there. Alright, here we go with the shotgun. And it's really nice. Like I said before, like the other bolter pistol, there's some weathering here as well on the gunmetal, or the paint itself. Especially around the skull wing. And this doesn't come out, or the magazine does not detach, similar to the... You know what? I never tried it. I'm not going to try it. If I ever find out this comes off, I will post it on my Instagram, on my story or whatever. Like, hey, you can take it off, but I'm not going to try it here. Let me break him in, and then I'll see what happens. But this leather strap does come off, though, which is really nice. If I can take him out. There he goes. Although, on top of here, it's stuck. So it's, like, glued on there. Which, I'm just kind of a little confused as to why JoyToy would do that, but it looks cooler with the leather strap on there, anyways. Kind of, you just almost as if, and you can also mount this around the arm. But either way, it's a cool figure, or cool gun. So let me take out my other two figures that I have. From the same Legion, Dark Angels, and I'll compare them when it comes to size. All right. Oops. Oh my god! I just started. Anyways, so these are the three figures that I have. There's Nadael. This is how his name. It starts with the J. Jafar. That's not the right. But this one has no name. It's just a Blade Guard veteran. This is the figure that I was talking about that I made a review on my Instagram. If y'all want to see a in-depth review just like how I'm doing with this one, let me know in the comments. I can for sure do that. And yeah, when it comes to the sizes, this guy's a little bit more tall. Probably maybe half an inch, not even, maybe a quarter of an inch tall. This guy's obviously going to be the same size. And these two figures have same weathering, just different accessories. This guy has a book, purity seal book, I believe. I'm not too sure. This guy, and one thing that I like about JoyToy is they are almost always going to be different, unless you buy the same figure twice. This one has a purity seal on his weapon, on his holster, and this one doesn't. So that's great to see. Same, back pouches. Same thing with the side. This one's actually one. This one has two. But they share the same, pretty much the same accessories, except little nuances here, such as the head, different design there. It's, I believe, the same. Yep, the same markings there. That's pretty much the only difference besides the little accessories that they have. Some of the, like I was saying before, these are 2.0s. Could be wrong. I believe these are 3.0s, but I'm highly convinced these are 2.0s. The 1.0s, the biggest telltale are the highlights. So, for those who are not familiar with Warhammer and the miniatures, when creating the miniatures, and this is by choice, this isn't a have to, it's just more for look purposes, they'll create an edge highlight on almost every edge you see, including the fingers, this here, and the forearms. Like every edge you see will have a highlight, besides the guns, obviously. But those are the 1.0s. I don't know why they haven't carried that over to the 2.0s and 3.0s. It looks great. Yeah. That's a question that JoyToy will probably answer maybe later. But if they don't, it's not a big deal. These are highly I've seen some customizers, some people who customize their own JoyToys, which I think is great. And I kind of want to get into that when it comes to adding third-party accessories. But that's for the later future. That's not now. But I wanted to show off the figures themselves. Now that I'm having him here, though, I can show you real quick. This guy is on a ball joint, and it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but this here is, it's on a ball joint, and here's the thing, you get some articulation with this shoulder than you do with this. The good thing with this one is that if you're to pose it this way, it's not going to fall back. Although you do lose the ability to maneuver it a certain way. With this one, you can move it all around, but it's depending on the angle, it will drop loose, because I believe it's on a flange, not a flange, a kind of a gasket O-ring. So when you put the shoulder is going to be on the shoulder is going to be connected to the butterfly joint, and that piece there is in between those two joints, and then the shoulder pad's there. So it moves around a lot, and depending on the figure and how you have it posed, it is going to be pretty loose. All right, so I don't want to take too much time than I already have, but that's the JoyToy Dark Angels Space Marine. Like I said before, I recently got into JoyToy, especially their Space Marines, and especially Warhammer. I've been doing a lot of research on Warhammer specifically, and for those who do intend on getting into it, pick a legion or a faction. Once you have that down, it becomes a whole lot easier and less overwhelming, because if you just go at it one time, it's just gonna hit you like a truck, and you're just gonna hate it because there's just so much information, and it's just best to just take it piece by piece, every day with like what I did. Just look at a video or two, you know, read a couple articles on Lexicanicum, I believe is the name. I'm not going to spell it out for you because I do not know the name of it or the how to spell it. So, yeah, this figure, I am definitely getting more of these. I do need to get the Terminator. They just came out with 6 Terminators. They're Deathwing Terminator Knights, and those look sick. The one in particular that I'm have my eye on is the Champion. So once I have that, or once that comes in the mail, I'll do my best to get a video out. If not, probably it'll be later in the future. And yeah, it's JoyToy. It's really knocking it out of the park. It's not only specifically Dark Angels, but some of their other Space Marines that they have. They just came out with the Sons of Horus, which I plan on getting. If they come out with a Sanguinius, I'm definitely getting Sanguinius. If I do get Sanguinius, I gotta get Horus. But if I get Horus, I gotta get like Gilliman. But if I get Gilliman, if they do come out with Vol, it's a disease. So, yeah, this, not to prolong it, 9 out of 10. Although this figure came out with, although this figure came out early last year, I want to say it's on my figures of the year, not the figure of the year. I don't want anyone misquoting me on there, but yeah, this is a really nice figure. Obviously, my heart goes to my first JoyToy that I bought, which is the one that I had on the left side. Yeah, it's. I believe I said a lot that could be said. If there's something that I missed and someone wants me to talk about it, because before I finish the video, I keep going on. Before I finish the video, I haven't seen a lot of reviews on JoyToy specifically, and especially their Warhammer. I believe, and I could be wrong. I could be not looking hard enough. There are 3 other channels that are reviewing JoyToy figures, and I wish I can list them off the top of my head, but obviously if you look up JoyToy Warhammer, it's most likely going to be the first 3 videos that you see are going to be from the same 3 channels. So I want to review a little bit more of these figures. I think they're great. They're so awesome. I also said in my Instagram that these are really great desktop companions. Really nice decoration. You can have all of them lined up as if they're taking orders from you. So like I said, they're really great. So yeah, I'm not too sure how to end the video. I'm just gonna end it. This is my second video on my YouTube channel. I am still getting still new at this. Like I said, if anyone has any recommendations on what they would like to see next, leave them in the comments below and I'll see if I can respond quick enough. If I do have the figure, I have the figure, and I'll go ahead and review that in my next video. But if I don't, I'll see if I can substitute that as best as I can. So, yeah, well, hope everyone has a great weekend. And if you love Warhammer, JoyToy, not JoyToy specifically, if you love Warhammer, you love action figures, JoyToy is the way to go. Alrighty, see ya.